After a heated debate where Kamala Harris absolutely destroyed Donald Trump, there were a few times where Harris said something while her mic was muted, which left people wondering what she was actually saying. Well, CNN actually revealed what Kamala was telling Trump when her mic was muted, so we're gonna go over those moments in this video. So let's hop right into it.
They even have, and you can look at the governor of West Virginia, the previous governor of West Virginia, not the current governor, who's doing an excellent job, but the governor before, he said the baby will be born and we will decide what to do with the baby. In other words, we'll execute the baby. And that's why I did that, because that predominates, because they're radical. The Democrats are radical in that. And her vice presidential pick, which I think was a horrible pick, by the way, for our country, because he is really out of it. But her vice presidential pick says abortion in the 9th month is absolutely fine. He also says execution after birth. It's execution, no longer abortion, because the baby is born, is okay.
According to CNN, Kamala Harris here was saying that's not true, which makes sense because I don't think anyone ever has wanted abortions to happen in the 9th month. But that was just the warm-up round, so let's go ahead to the next clip where things get a little bit more interesting.
I saw the people of Alabama and the legislature 2 days later voted it in. I've been a leader on it. They know that, and everybody else knows it. I have been a leader on fertilization, IVF. And the other thing, you should ask.
Now this one was actually quite funny because she wasn't saying anything that was meant to be heard, but she was just talking under her breath and we were able to somewhat make it out. But what she was saying is, you have not. And this was obviously in response to him claiming to be a leader in IVF. And this was just one of those ones where it was so obviously false. I think most of us at home were thinking, yeah, that's not true at all.
First, let me respond as to the rallies. She said people start leaving. People don't go to her rallies. There's no reason to go. And the people that do go, she's bussing them in and paying them to be there, and then showing them in a different light. So she can't talk about that. People don't leave my rallies. We have the biggest rallies, the most incredible rallies in the history of politics. That's because people want to take their country back. What they have done to our country by allowing these millions and millions of people to come into our country, and look at what's happening to the towns all over the United States. And a lot of towns don't want to talk. It's not going to be Aurora or Springfield. A lot of towns don't want to talk about it because they're so embarrassed by it. In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. And this is what's happening in our country, and it's a shame.
When Trump made the ridiculously debunked claim that migrants in Ohio were eating pets, Harris said, "What? That's unbelievable," which I believe is a perfectly valid response because that's what everyone was thinking. But honestly, I felt like the first sentence that Kamala said in her rebuttal to that was even better. Take a look.
Again, the Springfield city manager says there's no evidence of that. Vice President Harris, I'll let you respond to the rest of what you've heard.
You talk about extreme. This is, I think, one of the reasons why in this election I actually have the endorsement of 200 Republicans who have formally worked with President Bush, Mitt Romney, and John McCain.
So yeah, I think the American people saw how stupid Trump looked here, and I honestly think that that was the moment that Trump lost this debate. But there was actually a moment where Trump was muted when Kamala was talking, so let's take a look at that and I'll explain what he said.
Donald Trump has no plan for you. And when you look at his economic plan, it's all about tax breaks for the richest people. I am offering what I describe as an opportunity economy, and the best economists in our country, if not the world, have reviewed our relative plans for the future of America. What Goldman Sachs has said is that Donald Trump's plan would make the economy worse. Mine would strengthen the economy. What the Wharton School has said is Donald Trump's plan would actually explode the deficit. 16 Nobel laureates have described his economic plan as something that would increase inflation and by the middle of next year would invite a recession. You just have to look at where we are and where we stand on the issues. And I'd invite you to know that Donald Trump actually has no plan for you because he is more interested in defending himself than he is in looking out for you.
It's just a soundbite. They gave her that to say. Look, I went to the Wharton School of Finance, and many of those professors, the top professors, think my plan is a brilliant plan. It's a great plan.
Here, Trump was saying that's just a soundbite they gave her that to say. And as you could see at the very end of what he was saying, they unmuted the mic and just sort of let him start talking. And that's something that I noticed a lot during the debate. Trump got way more time to talk than Kamala did just because they let him talk whenever he wanted to. So I do wish we got a little bit more pushback on that, but other than that, this debate was really good. I was happy to see Kamala Harris crush Trump on stage, and I would love to see a second one if Trump isn't too scared to attend.